Welcome back to The Derby Difference, the podcast where we share the people, stories, and experiences that make Derby Academy in Hingham such a special pre-K through grade 8 community. Today I'm joined by 8th grader Ben Camuso, who has done pretty much everything at Derby, from Model UN to sports, theater, student council, music, and more. Benny's journey since kindergarten really shows what it means to grow up in a community. Benny, thanks so much for being here. I appreciate having you on the show.
Thank you for inviting me.
You ready to roll?
Can't wait.
All right. Awesome. So tell me a little bit about your Derby Academy journey. So you started here in kindergarten. What is it like looking back, seeing some of the kindergartners now, and then seeing how far you come? What's that like for you?
I feel like one of the funniest things is I remember in kindergarten looking up at the 8th graders and being like, those are giants. And just thinking, wow, how do they do all this? I remember we do a pals program where some older kids will pair with younger kids. And I remember my older pal, we went to his classroom once. I'm like, how do you do this? There's no rug on the floor that had like the alphabet. And it was just an absolute crazy experience for me when I'm in kindergarten. And then now I'm here in 8th grade, just with my own younger pal. And I'm like, that used to be me. And it's crazy just to think about how time flies.
Yeah. And you've come so far.
Yeah.
And look at you now, you get to be on my podcast.
Amazing.
Amazing. So besides being on this podcast, what's your favorite Derby memory so far?
I remember in 1st grade, there's this really good one where my 1st grade teacher, Mrs. Huber, instead of just giving us the classroom rules that every other school and we did in kindergarten has, we would make a constitution. And we'd come up with our own rules, and then we would sign the constitution, and all the parents would come in and sign the constitution. And I feel like it was just represented Derby so well. It's like, this is what Derby's about. It's about the students.
I like that. I like that a lot. Any other memories that you can think of from the upper school that you've liked, 6th, 7th, or even so far in 8th grade?
7th grade, we do this trip called Outdoor Ed, and we do it this year too, but last year it was so much fun. I remember I've learned so many things. My group, there was a couple kids that I really didn't know too well, and then I'm great friends with them now, just because we spent a day out in the woods together making a fire. It was such a fun experience.
Very cool. We're about to embark on that journey as we speak. So Later this week, we'll be doing our 8th grade outdoor ed. Are you excited for that?
So excited.
Very good. And I know you're a summer camp guy too.
Yeah.
So do you want to plug your summer camp right now? You can give them a free ad on this podcast that thousands of people are going to listen to.
Sounds great. I go to a sleepaway camp called Birchmont every summer for 7 weeks, and it is a really fun experience. We do a lot of really fun things, from going out in the woods to playing sports. They've got everything there. It's so fun.
How do you think Derby has prepared you for Camp Birchmont?
I feel like a lot of it is they've helped me with independence. For example, instead of having to ask a question for everything, they sort of teach me how to answer the question myself. And that's such a helpful thing to learn.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell me about Model UN and the Model UN program here. I know you're one of the heads this year. What do you enjoy most about it? And why did you decide to join Model UN?
I remember in 6th grade, they do these announcements in morning meeting, which we do every Tuesday and Thursday. And some announcements were about Model UN conferences coming up. And I thought that was really interesting. What do they do? And so I asked Mr. Kleberg, the Model UN teacher, about it. And he told me all about it. And you go to like a college and you sort of almost like debate with other people. And you represent a country. And for example, some countries I've been was Bulgaria. And the topic of the conference was refugees and the refugee problem. So what Bulgaria is, they're in between two countries with a lot of refugees. And what we did is we sort of acted as like a checkpoint where refugees were going from one country to another. They pass through Bulgaria and we can sort of resupply them. And Model UN, it's all kids similar to your age. And I feel like I've learned so much. I've made a lot of friends and I love it.
What have you learned about leadership skills through Model UN?
Sometimes you gotta just take charge when no one is listening to each other, no one is agreeing with each other. You need to figure out how can we make everybody happy with our solution. Because it's tough when no one agrees with you or you don't agree with someone. And no, you can't do like a vote because everyone has their own opinion. So you kind of just have to bring everyone together and be like, this part of your idea is good, this part of your idea is good, let's put them together. And it shows you how to take charge and be a leader.
Have
Great
some of
experience.
those skills transferred over here to student council?
Yeah, 1,000%. On student council, a lot of people, like, there's a lot of people in student council. And being a sixth grader, when there's 3 seventh graders and 4 eighth graders, it's tough for them to hear your opinion.
Sure.
So, especially in 7th grade, when I started doing Model UN, I learned how to get people to listen to my ideas and not just think of it as they're against my idea.
Right. Right. Awesome. I love that. Where have some of the conferences been? Where have you traveled to so far?
The best conference I went to was at Suffolk University. It's a college in Boston, and they've got a beautiful dining hall that we get to eat lunch at. But that's not the point. We go into classrooms, and they've got these really nice desks that we all sit at. It's just like, it's really well run. I almost want to say it's kind of like fancy. It's really cool.
Very nice. So you feel like you're a college student almost.
Yeah, almost like that.
I like it. I like it. So you're active in soccer, basketball, and lacrosse here. What role does sports play in your Derby experience? How would you rate them? You know, you've done Model UN, you've done theater, you've done, basically everything here. How would you rank sports in terms of your Derby experience?
I have some friends at Hingham Middle School, and they don't get a sports period at the end of the day. And we do, and I feel like it's really just a great experience.
Yeah.
Especially like some kids don't like to play sports, and Derby tries to encourage them to play the sports, and they do, and they love it. I have some friends who never liked playing sports, and now they're like captains of like track and field. It's cool how it just can sort of like evolve, how you don't like something and Derby can help you learn to like it.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things about the upper school, right? So we're pushing our sixth graders into that forced after school activity. And then you see little by little, kids start to like it a little bit more. They enjoy being part of the team. And then by the time they're seventh graders, maybe they try out for the varsity team. And by the time they're eighth graders, they love the sport. And maybe in ninth grade, they want to continue to play it.
Really
it's
cool.
Forcing kids into it. But then you hope at the end of their eighth grade time, they either know that they love it or know that they don't. And that's okay. Whether, doesn't matter which path they choose, they just know, right? And I think that that's important. Best lesson you've learned from being on a team?
I remember it was our lacrosse season, and it was cold. It was beginning of spring, and it was really cold. And me and my friends were all freezing. We have all the lacrosse gear on. It doesn't really warm you up though. So we've got hoodies on underneath our pads, and we're going to a game, and it starts raining. And we're like, this can't get any worse. And then we start losing, and we're like, oh, it got worse. But then at halftime, one of my friends, he sort of brought everyone together, and we started just feeling it, like really wanting to play this game and make it worth it, because we came all the way out here. It's cold, it's rainy. We're not going to make this not worth it. And we ended up coming back and tying the game. It was really fun.
Awesome. Don't give up.
No, don't give up. That's the lesson.
Love it. How do you balance athletics with everything else you're involved in? How does that balance work for you?
What Derby does is before sports, they have this thing called resource, and it allows you to get some of your homework done before you go to sports. So I can get some of my schoolwork done during resource, go to sports, get the positives of athletics, and come home, finish my homework in like 20 minutes, and be done with schoolwork, and basically be done with school for the day, and let's say I have a sports practice later that day. I don't have to have 2 hours of homework hanging over my head, because we can do it here in resource. And I feel like they're helpful. School's helpful with that.
How long did it take you from maybe 6th and 7th grade to realize that resource was a valuable time? Did you know it right away and you start using it right away? Or did it take you a little bit of a ramp up time to say, wow, I'm wasting a little bit of this opportunity. I need to take advantage of it?
Definitely took a ramp up time. Especially in 6th grade, we're like, oh, you have all this time. It's almost like recess, except we're not outside. Let's just talk and talk and talk. It was really not productive, and we had a lot of homework. And I go home, I'm like, I had an hour of homework tonight. Parents were like, that seems like a lot, isn't it? It's because I didn't use my resource. And it was still a little problem in 7th grade. Even in 8th grade, it can be a little hard to not turn around and chat to your friend. I feel like I've grown and I'm starting to learn about, well, already started to learn. I'm starting to use my resource time the way I'm supposed to and the way they give it to us, and it's really helpful.
Perfect. Do you have any specific teachers that you like to meet with, or do you just stay in your advisory and do your work?
Something I like, it's like until 2:10 we can't leave. So I do some of my work and I'll skip the problems I have questions on, and then a lot of the questions are in English, and that's the advisory I'm in. So I can stay in my advisory and talk to my English teacher. But other times I'll have to go to Miss Ryan, the science teacher, and I'll have to go see Mr. Boardman. And it's really helpful that I don't have to just stay in the advisory the whole time. I can go out and ask my teacher, who isn't in my advisory, a question.
Fantastic. So let's switch gears a little bit to Derby's theater program. So you've been a part of our theater program here since 6th grade, is that right?
Yep.
Even earlier than that with small little plays and one acts that we do in the lower school. What's your favorite show or role that you've been in here at Derby?
In 6th grade, they did The Wizard of Oz, and I was the mayor of Munchkin City. It was pretty good. And then I was like, can't get much better than this. And then the next year in 7th grade, we did The Little Mermaid, and I was the chef. And I was like I sang the Le Poisson song, and I was laughing at myself doing it. It was the best. It was a really interesting, a great experience. I know in kindergarten, they do a play called The Mitten, or it changes sometimes, but normally it's The Mitten.
Yeah, I think it still is.
I did it. I was like, oh, this is fun. And I always wanted to do play afterward. We get to, in 3rd grade, 2nd grade, 1st grade, I see the older kids do the plays, and I'm like, I want to do this. So once it comes to 6th grade, I can actually do the play. It's like, this is awesome. I can almost see myself out in the audience watching and being amazed. It's a really, really fun experience.
The productions here are amazing.
Yeah, the drama teacher, he knows what he's doing. It's amazing how well run it is. Like at Sleepaway Camp, there's a play, but it's not as well run as it is here. And
Sure.
I'm like, wow, this is not what I thought it was going to be. Because
does it take some of the fun out of it?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
When it's organized, you can almost do it correctly. Makes it look to the observer good, and as the actual actor, it's even better.
Right. Because everybody's sort of pulling in the right direction, doing the right things. Totally understand. You also play the clarinet here. So tell me about your music experience at Derby.
In 4th and 5th grade, it's mandatory to play an instrument. My parents wanted me to pick saxophone, so I ended up playing clarinet. And they're like, oh, it's fine. Kenny G plays the clarinet, right?
Right.
I was like, oh yeah. So I go and tell my music teacher about Kenny G. He's like, Kenny G does not play the clarinet. He plays the saxophone. And I was like,
Whoops.
no, but it's completely fine because now I love the clarinet.
You could be the Kenny G of the clarinet.
Of the clarinet, exactly.
There you go.
And now I played the clarinet since 4th grade. I teach my neighbor how to play the clarinet, and it's gone to the point where it's like an activity. It's like something fun that I can do. Our old band teacher, Mr. Martin, really got me hooked on it. We got a new teacher this year, Mr. Gable, and he's great. He's really helpful. Band program is still going strong. I love it. It's really fun.
Wonderful. So you've been a student leader, you've been an athlete, you've been a performer, you've been a musician. What connects all these experiences for you? Is there some sort of through line where, I know we went through Portrait of a Graduate last year, but is there one particular thing that connects all these experiences for you?
I feel like Derby teaching you how to communicate. I never would have wanted to be Model UN if I couldn't talk to that Model UN teacher, say, hey, what's Model UN? I never could have been student council if I didn't have the bravery to go up and do a speech. I couldn't play clarinet and couldn't do the play if I was afraid of being on stage. And Derby's taught me to embrace being uncomfortable and talk to people.
Right. You wouldn't be here on my podcast.
Yeah, now I'm on
without
the podcast.
This. And now
Thousands
of people are going to see you and know that you're a brave public speaker.
Yeah, it's an amazing experience that Derby's taught me to communicate. Public speak, not even public speak, just talk to an adult.
Yeah.
And that's a great experience.
I think one of the coolest things when I'm walking around with other admission reps from schools, we walk through the lower school and the first graders will walk up to the door and say, hello, welcome to, Ms. Skapurtis's class. This is what we're working on today in first grade. And they'll go through the whole little spiel. And then you go to the second grade class and student jumps up. this is Mrs. Lynch's class. Like, here's what we're doing. I love that part of Derby.
Yeah, it's awesome how they start teaching you in pre-K to public speak. And it's a really great experience, a great skill that we learn.
Definitely. What will you miss most about Derby when you graduate?
Most likely the community. The community here at Derby is so welcoming and so helpful, and they're willing to correct me when I'm wrong and praise me when I'm right. And doesn't get better than that. That's the teachers. The kids, I miss so many friends here that I'm going to be friends with for a very long time. And moving on to high school next year, it's going to be tough because I'm going to miss here and miss all the things I used to be able to do here that maybe high school doesn't have. And it's going to be very different.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you're always welcome back,
Thank
especially
you.
to come back on the pod. If you can give advice to younger students about starting at Derby, what would you tell them? So this is for like the prospective students and maybe prospective families that are going to listen to this podcast. What advice do you have for them?
I feel like going with the flow because the school gives you everything you need. They offer tutoring. They can give you extra help and resource. They'll answer your questions completely. If you just go along with what they give you, like resource, use your resource time, study, use the time they give you to study, and you just use everything they give you, it's going to be amazing.
Right.
And if you don't use it, it's still going to be amazing. It'll just be harder.
Yeah, totally. Just thinking about you, right? Theater, clarinet, Model UN, student council, sports. You've taken advantage of every single thing that this campus has to offer.
Yeah.
So that must feel pretty good as like an 8th grader on your way out, knowing that you have taken advantage of everything and you've done everything. That must feel pretty good.
And yeah, sometimes you might not like something, and that's a great learning experience. You know that this isn't for me. Time to try something new.
Yeah, I love that. Great. Favorite Derby tradition?
The fall fair is really fun, especially when I was younger. I couldn't make it this year, unfortunately, but all my other years I've went, it's been so much fun. They've got rides, they've got candy. You just get to, and it's not only Derby families that go, other families can go too, and it is all at your school. Say your friends come, you're like, oh, this is where I do gym. Oh, this is, and they're like, whoa, this is really cool.
It's a cool
And
campus.
you kind of get to almost show them what a day in the life of your school day is.
Speaking of places around campus, what's your favorite place to hang out around campus?
I think I've made a lot of memories in the dining hall, chatting with friends, but I think my real favorite place is either the library or the science gallery, because I've done a bunch of group projects in both those places and learned more about my friends, do the group project and actually like do well on it. And I've also it's almost like I feel relaxed in there because I've been in there, I'm comfortable in there. There's always some teachers in there you can talk to. And I feel like those two places, the library and the science gallery, are probably almost like two little comfort zones.
Favorite lunch in the dining hall?
So it used to be General Gao's chicken. And then I feel like it kind of fell off. So I'm going to say it is probably steak and cheese.
Yeah,
Steak and cheese is good. Really good.
It is very good. Soccer, basketball, or lacrosse? What would you pick if you had to?
You could probably go with soccer because I really like the technical side of it and how it really requires you to think. And I feel like it makes it different from other sports.
One word to sum up your Derby Academy experience.
That's a hard one. I'd probably say almost convenience might be a good one because everything you'll ever need is in one campus. You don't need to go and buy a binder. You don't need to go and get outside help. You have everything you need here. And it's almost like they make it easy.
We try.
While still teaching you. It's great.
Finally, last question. What does the Derby difference mean to you as an 8th grader ready to graduate?
This is the second time I brought this up, but the community here at Derby is just so amazing. It's a warm welcome when you first come. They're inclusive. The kids, the teachers, they will help you when you need help. And that is one of the biggest parts. When you need help, they'll make time in their day, whether it's sending them an email, meeting with them in resource. They try to make it as easy as possible. And the community is just so warm and so kind. And I'm going to say it again, so kind.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. I don't know how they do it, but they do.
A lot of time and a lot of energy are spent on you guys.
Thank
Perfect. Well, Benny, Thank you so much for being my first student guest. I really appreciate it. That wraps up today's episode of The Derby Difference. A big thank you to 8th grader Benny Camuso for sharing his story and giving us such a great window into student life at Derby. From kindergarten to graduation, Benny has embraced every opportunity. Athletics, arts, leadership, service. He truly represents what it means to be a Derby graduate. As Benny moves on to his next chapter, we'll know he'll carry with him curiosity, character, and confidence that make the Derby difference. Thanks again for listening. Be sure to subscribe for more conversation with people who make Derby Academy such a special community. And as always, keep living the Derby difference.